I always talk informal way. So, actually, I come here for lunch, not for talk. The clock of Harside Kasadimi, hot, poor.
Stomach.
Stomach, Mahabharata. I don't know. What to call here? Where is the digestion come? Stomach here. So in any way, you see the place which we usually, digest those food. So now, clock of that, now, time to eat. So, since, you see, from here, indication of hungry come. So firstly, I want to take this. Okay, I think I do want share with more people. So now, reality, I think one reality, no one disagree. That is 7 billion human beings want happy life. And the people, different sort of profession, all want a happy life, including those people who create trouble. They also, as a human being, they want happy life. Everyone has the right to achieve peaceful, happy life. Even I think animal knows. So when someone, develop full of anger, even animal feel little uncomfortable. More compassionate attitude, even animal appreciate. So that's, I think, a principle. When we, entire humanity, want happy life means more compassionate life. That brings peace. Even some disagreement, some problem, with compassion, we can solve. Human way. Talk. Understand others' right. Respect others' right. Understand others' views. Then some kind of compromise. Very possible. So now, out of 7 billion human beings, about 1 billion Christian, another 1 billion Muslim, and then perhaps less than billion Hindus, and Buddhists also less than 1 billion. So these major world tradition have, I think, very important sort of ability or potential and responsibility to create compassionate world, peaceful world. In order to do that, among ourselves, unity, harmony is very essential. For that reason, I firstly consider I'm just one human being out of 7 billion human beings. On that level, I always talk how to bring a happy family, happy individual, happy community harmony, for friendship. Harmony, friendship, entirely based on trust. Trust based on warm-heartedness. So long, in spite, now 81-year-old, my teeth is good, so I must use that teeth. When you see teeth gone, then or apple put there and pray. Nothing can be done. So, now as I think you mentioned, one of you mentioned rightly. Now today, there are a lot of problems, including killing by human being, killed by human being. Unthinkable. Although that's part of human history. Through education, I think many things changed. And also through experience. I often used to mentioning during First World War, Second World War, and Korean War, during those periods, when concerned government or leader declare war on other nation, every citizen of the particular, of the concerned country, without any question, with full of enthusiasm, joined the war effort. That kind of situation, that kind of attitude during Vietnam War began to change. Like Muhammad Ali refused, join American military forces. So many people then gradually express against violence, against the war. So that is the sign of our maturity. And also sign of hope. So therefore, I think desire for peace, I think all over the world, generally speaking, I think much stronger. When Iraq crisis about to happen, the peaceful demonstration, a demonstration for peace from Japan, Australia, Europe, America, till America, the millions of people, come out against violence or war. So that is one, the source of our hope. Another scientist, top scientist, like Richard Davidson and some other really, a genuine, well-known scientist. Now they, recent years, some occasion are sort of gathering. They say, through their sort of investigation or experiment, they realize, they concluded, basic human nature is more compassionate. So therefore, that I think really give us real hope. So now, and also practical level, as I mentioned before, the 20th century, within 20th century, early part of 20th century and later part of 20th century, I think humanity's the way of thinking, as I mentioned earlier, change. Later part of 20th century, the desire for peace, world peace, much, much stronger. Since when a war, then more and more people now realize war not the proper way to solve problem. So they come out against violence or war. I think among the scientists in, say, I think early part of 20th century, when they find, oh, there is possibility to develop, to produce nuclear weapon. So at that time, I think concerned scientists, they really feel it is something great achievement. Those nuclear physicists, they really feel very proud. Now, later part of 20th century, the people realize nuclear weapon, immense destructive power, that really very serious matter, and better to make some sort of, step by step, eliminate that kind of weapon. Once feel very proud. Now later part of 20th century feel now that's too dangerous. So they're really making effort to firstly reduce and secondly, now Obama also now mentioning, and some other leaders is mentioning, eventually this world should be free of nuclear bomb, nuclear weapon. Then another thing, you see, till later part of 20th century, is a scientist always investigate or research work outside thing, not our mind. Even some classical scientists, they do not believe even to the existence of mind or consciousness, only brain. Now later part of 20th century, scientists, particularly brain specialists, now they begin to feel, oh, there is another sort of phenomena which can affect our brain. And then also the scientists, mainly medical scientists, now they realize peaceful mind is very important for our health. So, more and more people, irrespective whether believer or non-believer, many people now realize a peace of mind is really very important. Then more and more people, when I talk, when I express, genuine peace must come through inner peace. Many people agree, support. So now, question of physical comfort, religion, not much relevant. Economy, money. In order to make money, including corruptions, or cheating, or bully, making money. As far as money matter is concerned, there is no principle of honest, truthful, clear. When we talk about compassion, then the concept of honest, truthful, transparent, these are action of compassion. Compassion there. You sincerely take the other's well-being. Then there is no basis to cheat, to bully. At the same time, you yourself also carrying your activities transparent. That brings trust. Trust is, as I mentioned earlier, basis of friendship, harmony, unity. So now, more and more scientists, whether they believe religion or not, they now begin to feel the importance of inner value, compassion. That's, I think, a hopeful sign. I think a positive development during 20th century. Now this 21st century is as a followed way, following continuation of 20th century. Now there is a real hope if we make attempt, main effort, mainly through education. I think within this century, I think way of human thinking can change. So in that respect, various religious people who sort of the message of whose sort of main sort of practice is love, compassion, forgiveness. So now we have special responsibility for promotion of compassion on this planet. Not necessarily, I'm Buddhist, I never try to propagate Buddhism. So similarly, our Muslim brothers, sisters, you see, try to make contribution from your own tradition, promotion of compassion, compassionate society, not necessarily propagate your own faith. Okay. So I often is telling Christian brothers, sisters, I really appreciate or admire. They made, I think, really tremendous contribution for education on the whole world. But sometimes you see they also carry some missionary work to propagate the Christian. That is not very healthy one. I publicly see when I have some sort of meeting with Christian brothers, sisters, I make clear, if you make effort to propagate Christianity, then of course those area no sort of solid religious faith, then okay. But where traditional sort of solid religious there, then if your side try to propagate or conversion, then other side say feel uncomfortable. So therefore, I never try to propagating Buddhism. Buddhism is my personal sort of private business. I practice that. So this morning I also mentioned one of my Christian friend. Many years, we become very close friend, and also he's really showing some of Buddhist practice of promotion of compassion or spirit of forgiveness, these things. And also single-pointed meditation. These are common. So we discuss these things. One day, that Catholic monk asked me about emptiness, soulless or selfless sort of concept. Then I told him, don't ask that. That is not your business. The emptiness, concept of emptiness is Buddhist business. So I practice that. You don't practice that. You should not touch about that subject. And then also, I think 2 years ago in Bangalore, one Hindu guru or I think a sadhu, he really dedicated helping several thousand school children giving meal. Wonderful. He invited me. We sort of spent some sort of private chat also. Then I told him, you Hindus, we Buddhists, I'm Buddhist, it's a practice of Shila, practice of Shamatha, practice of Vipassana, we are same. Then I told him, you Hindu believe Atma, independent self, soul. We Buddhists, Anatma, no independent soul. So that's differences. However, the question of Atma is you get benefit from that concept. I get benefit from the concept of anatma. So that's our private business. I told him like that. So you see, different philosophical views, these are private things. Our common thing is practice of compassion. Now we should make common effort to promote compassionate society through education and also through example. Clear? So that I want to suggest or to appeal, actually to appeal. Here, Ladakh, I think real religious harmony exists there. That's wonderful. Now you need, through effort, our coming generation, younger generation, also you see, should carry that spirit of harmony. Okay. One time in Paris, the I think Catholic Archbishop or something, no, I think Cardinal in France. So I met, we discussed. He really make a serious effort. Try to convince me about God, Creator. And I, of course, now here, a little diplomatic way, yes, wonderful. I mentioned, but in my mind, his effort is useless. I really felt that. So, you see, certain unique sort of philosophical view, there are differences. We have to accept that. But these are method. Our aim is bring conviction about value of compassion. So since the goal is same, so different philosophical view is matter of individual sort of suitability, like that.
Julie, I wanted to ask, according to you, what makes a person bad or good?
We are social animal. Individual's future much depend on rest of the community. So on the basis of everyone want happy life. So the major factor for friendship, ultimately the major factor of happiness is warm-heartedness. So people, even non-believer, remain warm-hearted person. That's good person. Maybe very rich, maybe billionaire, very powerful, and educated, but deep inside, extreme self-centered attitude, I consider bad. So after all, there is no sort of, of course, according to religious belief, yes, there's a certain sort of principle, make distinction bad or good. But generally speaking, they say warm-heartedness, ready to help other, at least not harming other. That's good. I think dogs or cats, no religion, but those dogs who show more, showing more social friendship. Oh, social friendship. That dog will not disturb much. Other dog maybe physically very strong, but always sort of fighting with other dogs. Looks not nice. So without religious faith, simply more warm-heartedness, more respect other. The concept of social gathering. That's good. So no religious faith, but you see, even dogs, you see, more sort of because of the social sociable. Yes, that brings happy among the dogs. And the owner of the person also feel happy. Dog always fighting. Sometimes the owner have to go and make like that. This dog used to sit this side, other dog used to expand. So such things, even animal, you see, disturb the peaceful sort of gathering like that. So then we human being, certainly more warm-hearted person. I believe that's good. Demarcation of good and bad is warm-hearted or too much extreme self-centered attitude. That's the demarcation, good and bad. Next question?
So my question is on a lighter note. I've read this funny anecdote in the book 7 Years in Tibet. It was mentioned that when you were very young, somebody had put a telescope on top of the palace, of the Potala palace, so that you can look around. But it happened that when there was festivities going around, and when people saw you looking at them, enjoying and merrymaking, they stopped enjoying. They went to their homes, and then they pretended that they were not very happy and they were sad, so that you do not feel bad from top of the palace. It was mentioned in the book that you felt lonely in that palace because you were, practicing in the religious scriptures and all. So I wanted to ask if that is true or not. How true is that story?
Yes, Henry Hara, I think one of my very good friends, not only my friend, but I consider him one of the very good friend of Tibet. So till his last year, final, we met, he always say about Tibet. So he was true friend of Tibetan nation. However, his book 7 Years in Tibet, not necessarily 100% correct. And particularly the movie, which based on his book. So I saw what you call Kundun or something.
7
7
years in Tibet.
7 years in Tibet. So, as a profession, carrying the profession people. So, according to their own profession, it is sometimes like that. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I would like to advise again that last time when we were gathered in Imam Bargah, and I asked you to create a concept under your leadership from the different sect of religion and different scholars from Buddhism and from Shiism, Sunnism, Judaism and Christianity to create the harmony among the people. So all these people gather on a place and they will talk and they will see what is the factor which is in create the problem to create the harmony among the people. And Thus, I would like to ask you a question, which is one of the sensitive questions, and I hope this question will not attack in our harmony and for our peace. But I would like to ask question this from your good self to know myself, okay, to know that why, I don't know, I try to understand why inside the Ladakh that it is not permissible or allowed from the administration, or it is not allowed from the religious school of thought, that sometimes during the 1 month, okay, for special times, for I don't know, sometimes say Namgang and Chesgyat, they do not allow to sell the meat, okay. So I think I did not understand the reason, okay. I'm asking this question, only want to know, okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
The other day, the Buddhist, is in your report, you mentioned last year some meeting, even you see people from Kyrgyz. You mentioned,
Yes.
no? Some people who supposed to see some politicians and religious leader, you see, brought here to discuss. So I very much sort of encouraged that kind of practice. That should continue. So now here, the head of also the Yellowhead sect here, and the Tixir Muchi also here. I think from time to time, I think different levels, according to my own experience. One level, the scholars come together and discuss what is differences, what is similarity. And then naturally, there are differences. Then we must sort of discuss what is the purpose of these with a different sort of philosophical view. Now, basically, major world tradition believe creator. Jainism, Buddhism, only these two, and also some extent Sankhya philosophy, no concept of creator. So big differences. However, the purpose of two different sort of philosophical view is to see to strengthening compassion. So then no problem. One thing. Then second, meeting with genuine practitioner and discuss, exchange what is their deeper experiences through their own practice, through their own faith. For me, like meeting with late Kazachuti, Thomas Merton, and then one occasion I met, I don't know the name, but one Catholic monk who spent 5 years in the mountain of Montserrat there. I met. Then I was told by the organizer, so he spent 5 years in the mountain, completely sort of also the hermit life, without hot meal, only tea, bread. Then I asked him, I was told you spent 5 years in the mountain. What kind of practice? He, without hesitation, he mentioned practice of love. When he mentioned that, I noticed in his eye something sort of special expression. So philosophically, they believe creator. I do not believe creator. Thomas Merton also like that. but the experience, deeper experience through their own practice, you see, more or less same. So that immense help to develop respect, Catholicism. And then also, you see, I met some Muslim practitioner. As you briefly also mentioned, the genuine Muslim, you see, Muslim practitioner should not create bloodshed. Once you create bloodshed, then essentially no longer Islam practitioner. So genuine Islam practitioner should extend genuine love entire creature of Allah. So this, if you sincerely practice these things, then no matter whether believe God or not, doesn't matter. It's the same. So therefore, two kinds, the professors, scholars meeting. What's the differences? What's similarity? Then there are differences. What's the purpose? Then same. Then the people who really practice through years, this is some deeper experience, then meeting, exchange, and deeper experience. So that two kinds of us today, the nature meeting, one exchange, deeper experience, one scholarly, we should discuss. So that now you already sort of started that kind of work. So I think now, from time to time, I think some kind of regular meeting. And from Buddhist side, the Rinpoche, Satang at the gate, it's chance for the educate Kuru, Kudua, so Rinpoche Kundru. Sasanga, Kadanganzo. Sometimes I sort of quite bluntly is mentioning in public meeting. So there are, as I mentioned before, you see, about billion Muslim, about billion Christian. Neither no ability to eliminate other one. So we have to live together. Then, if there is choice, live fighting each other. It is better, or live happily, harmoniously. Every sensible person choose live harmoniously. Isn't it? So you see, use common sense. So therefore, you see, in order to live because of the harmoniously, you see, not just diplomatic way, but sincerely, from the wholeheartedly, you see, spiritual sense of spiritual brother, sister. And we have different philosophical views, different tradition, but same goal. And both sides can promote in the society the conviction about the value of compassion. So, from time to time, you see, meet and then discuss. So both sides say, what is the best way to make awareness public that this inner value is really very, very helpful in order to create happy individual, happy family, happy society. So then you can discuss what's the best, what's the practical way to promote these things and discuss. Clear? That's my view.
Any other question?
So the one part of your question, you see, Namgang Kya, you see, because of the prohibit eating meat. That's Buddhist, not include Islam. Muslim. So you can enjoy your own way. You know? Then I think some Buddhist friend together, then Gaza.
Numbers of Kushib
So perhaps I think majority of the people are Buddhist. So certain Buddhist sort of practice, naturally, you have to respect. So I think big festival, something like that, I think should serve vegetarian food. And your own private home, enjoy meat.
Your Holiness, I saw just now everybody was enjoying the non-veg.
Gaza.
To make us happy, to make us enjoy, someone has to butcher this animal. So what do you think, sir? Are they doing favor to the society or otherwise? Please.
Now, as far as Buddhist is concerned, I think in the Chinese tradition and also Zen tradition, very strict vegetarian. And in Buddhist sort of literature, or Buddha's own text, Buddha's own speech right now, you see, in Vinaya, say not prohibited eating meat, but you should not take meat which purposely for you killed. You should not eat, you should not accept. Or dead animals, meat of dead animal, okay. Or big market, already some meat there, you see, you can take. So that is actually one time I serious discussion with one bhikshu, one monk from Sri Lanka. I think more than 30 years ago. So I discussed the vegetarian, non-vegetarian. Then he told me, Buddhist monk, neither vegetarian nor non-vegetarian. Whatever you get, you should accept. You have no right to demand, I want vegetarian food or non-vegetarian food. Whatever, you see, so the begging bowl, and go different family. If the family gives you vegetarian food, accept. Non-vegetarian food, accept. Like that. Then, certain sutra completely prohibited eating meat. Then, Chinese Buddhist, many Chinese Buddhists, very strict vegetarian. And Japanese also. Vietnam, maybe, I'm not very sure. In Korean also. The Sri Lanka and Thailand and Burma, as Sri Lankan monk used to told me, Buddhists, whatever they get, you should accept. You have no right to demand. So then we Tibetan case, I think ancient time, the Tibetan, the plateau, nomad area, no vegetation, no fruit. Even you see some remote area, no samba available. So only you see cheese make powder, that you see take as a samba, and milk. So for survival, you see, you have to take meat. So that is the, I think, according to that reality, Tibet not very strict, the vegetarianism or non-vegetarian, like that. So then, in India, now something different. A lot of vegetation, a lot of vegetable, fruit, and vegetarian food very much available. Then Indian vegetarian food is wonderful, even better than Chinese vegetarian food. Non-vegetarian food, Chinese food is much better. So therefore, when I first, in 64, I want to be strict vegetarian. Then next, about 20 months, I remain vegetarian. Then the gallbladder, because of hepatitis B somewhere. Hepatitis. My body completely become yellow. And nails, eyes become yellow. And I think about more than 2 weeks, I really, much of because of tiredness, like that. Then, as a Tibetan physician, as well as allopathic physician, then they suggest to me it is better to follow the previous the diet, non-vegetarian. So then I start. But at the same time, say in Tibetan refugee community in India, right from the beginning, we never accept the fishery, pickery, and also poultry. Some organization offered us to set up pickery, these things. They say economically something useful. Then the fishery, piggery, we never accepted. Then poultry, there is some poultry there. So they told me for egg. Then I asked them, when hen become old, no longer any egg, then what are you doing? No clear answer. So then I asked them, if economically something very necessary, then I have nothing to say. If economy feels not highly necessary, then please stop poultry also. Since then, all our settlement, no kasauda, these things. And then also is a bigger monastic institution, previously serving non-vegetarian food. Then I appealed, the common kitchen should serve vegetarian food. Then some schools, their common kitchen, since then they also use only vegetarian food. Individual, up to them, okay. So since those big monastic institutions, monk population, a few thousand, 5,000, 4,000 like that. So since they are common kitchen, no longer serving non-vegetarian food. So beside the monastic institution, some private restaurant selling momo, meat. So their business very successful. So in foreign country also, those the Buddhist center, individual up to them, but as a community serving lunch or dinner, they must serve vegetarian food. So here I make a contradiction. Appeal people should should practice vegetarian food. I myself remain non-vegetarian. So at that time, my body completely became yellow. So later, I expressed, at that time, I truly become living Buddha. yellow. Not out of practice or meditation, but out of illness, I become living Buddha. So like that. So I think Buddhist community, it is better as much as you can. You see, occasionally some non-vegetarian food, but usually better vegetarian food. And I met some, because of the group, they really making effort to promote vegetarian food. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So among Tibetan community also there are some sort of people really making effort to promotion of kasa, vegetarian food. Then I think global level, I think fishery. Because of instance immensely. So now it's just some kind of fish now reduce. And then beef farm. Many people say, environment, because of concern about the environment, very, very harmful. And then sheep, goats, these also. So I think overall interest of the world, I think we have to promote vegetarianism, really, like that. So then our Muslim brothers, sisters, you see, the public, because of public function, better serve vegetarian food. So in certain lunch, including we, then non-vegetarian food. So that's my view. I think we have to think the feeling of society. We must respect. Then meantime, the other day, I think this year, the whole night, some singing, something shouting. Yes. So in my place, you see, little disturbances. Too much noise. But I remember, that's the tradition. I must respect. Like that. Thank you. So I really consider you different faith, but I really consider my comrade. Really. So we use our own faith to achieve happy world, compassionate world, and use each one's potential to use same direction, same goal. Thank you. Okay. I want to share one sort of a little bit funny story. See, when you mentioned me, Highness, His Highness,
Your Highness now.
Your Highness. See, there are some sort of meaning. Kasabana. Highness, His Highness, or this you see, sometimes you see refer kings or these leaders. So when I think early 60, I received one sort of package, cigars from Cuba. Since they produced that. So you see, they mentioned Mr. and Mrs. His Holiness. So they almost consider, you see, me as a His Highness, and also because of that,
Her Highness.
Her Highness. So recently, I was in American Mayo Hospital, some medical treatment. So then one specialist asked me how to address you. Then I told him, no need saying His Holiness or His Excellency or His Highness. Sometimes it creates more sort of complicated. You see, some people, you see, try to say something His Holiness. Meantime, they say His Highness or something like that. So then I told him, the reality, I'm just a human being. So better to call me or address me brother. Then after that, you see, when he sort of carrying some sort of treatment, then he expressed, brother, now your leg show me like that. And any pen, brother, like that. I really feel happy. That's true. So that I just say to mention. And then, you see, many years ago, I wrote, you see, this book with help of some sort of scholars. You see, towards the true kinship of faiths. So, you see, I think Sunni and Shia, they say,
These are two Shia and Sunni.
Thank you very much.
Please.
Thank you very much.
So, there's one condition. My next time come to here, I will
I will test you, examine you.
I will examine you. Oh, I will keep one whip. When I study, you see, my tutor keeps one whip. So, future, when I examine whether you truly read or study or not, I will examine, meantime, keep one whip. Thank you very much. I really enjoy. Now few weeks, you see, few occasion, you see, gathering with Muslim brothers, sisters. I really enjoy.